welcome to another exciting episode of Andre The Beast Crayton Show. Today we're going to go into the mind, creative mind of Indiana's own. And let me explain to you when I'm talking about creative mind. This right here in front of me, book after book, novels. These are novels. Novel after novel after novel. This is truly a beast mindset right here. But not only that, not only is this young man producing novels of exquisite taste in history and experience in these novels, but also taking it to the big screen. Like to welcome in studio the one, the only, Courtney M. Brownn. What's up?
What up? How you doing, man?
Man, you got some work here. I mean, like, I wasn't expecting all of this to grace this table today.
Okay.
Before we get started, tell the viewers a little bit about you.
All right, well, I'm Courtney B. That's my pen name. I've been writing for a total of, I would say, 11 years now. I've been published for 8 of those 11 years.
Right.
Through that process, I was able to produce 17 books, and my 18th book, I just turned the edits in this morning. So
wait a minute, hold down. You getting ready to come on the show, and you still pushing books out.
Yeah, it don't start. It's like, I only intended on writing 2 books.
Right.
But after that, concept started developing, and a different concept, and you should go with this, and I got a character for this, and it's just, and then also social media plays a big part in my inspiration, seeing people's different stories, seeing how they say new words, and it's going around, and I got to put this new word to a character, and I develop a lot about, a lot of my books around people that I meet.
Right.
And hearing their stories so far out there, I'm like, that should be character, so
did you grow up with this superpower? Let's call it what it is.
But you know what? What I would say is it's always been there. I've always been creative, and I've always been to myself, and I had nothing but imagination. Really? So it started off with a friend that I had that never existed when I was about 4. Nene now, I might write a children's book about that.
Right.
Because, when I got whooped and he didn't, I had to let him go.
Right. So you the only child?
No, I'm actually the youngest of my mom's kids. But on the dad side, you know how that go. Papa's a Rolling Stone.
Wherever he laid, it was his own.
Yeah, Papa's a Rolling Stone over there, and it's numerous siblings I have on that side. So,
but when you mentioned that you was often alone by yourself, this is when the creativity, the imagination, and the creativity. Because let's get real, to produce novel after novel after novel, and then get into putting this on film.
yeah.
That's a lot of creativity. Did you go to college for any of this?
Didn't go to college for it. It's just a gift, and I received it. I prayed for a lot of gifts.
Right.
This came to the forefront at the time of where I was at in life at the moment of this particular prayer.
Where were you at the moment? And what were the gifts that you prayed for? Because people need to understand you manifested this at a very young age, and all of a sudden this came to the forefront. But what were the other ones before this surfaced to the forefront?
Well, it was a point in my life to where I was seeing what was going on around me. I thought it was cool. I thought it was the thing to do. And seeing people prosper from this particular lifestyle.
What lifestyle? The drugs, the violence,
I seen people,
big cars, diamond in the back, sunroof top.
Thing about it is I wasn't around nobody who did it small. Everybody I was around was on, like, they got toys, they got house here, they got a house there, and it kind of inspired me.
So you talking the Frank Lucas lifestyle?
I'm talking about multiple Frank Lucases.
Wow.
And that's just it. And I wouldn't have been attracted to it if I was around somebody who barely doing their thing. Everybody that I knew, personally, because I'm 1980. I'm an 80s baby. So I grew up in the 90s. So when the transition of the neighborhood happened, I was a part of it. So everybody that came up in my generation took it to the next level and made it look so well. And I figured, hey,
Yeah.
you know, I got the same mindset. I can do this. My heart was never with it, though. So I ended up, you know, just going against who I grew up. I played football. That was my thing. I actually stopped playing football to join the street army. And that was a good decision, man. But it took me to a place to where it worked, but it didn't work how they were doing it. And I realized there were certain things that they were doing that I just wasn't, you know, cut out to do.
Right.
So I just took my show on the road and tried to make it make sense, just going off what I saw, and it didn't work so well. I ended up, I ended up locked up for it.
Oh, that can really change the whole demeanor in life.
It changed everything. Basically, seeing that I could have had a career in the NFL, I don't know for sure, didn't complete that mission. But seeing that I could have done something different, it was a wake-up call. Mm-hmm. Still haven't learned my lesson. I ended up, accepting my charges.
Did you serve a long period of time incarcerated?
They gave me a 10 to 5 for...
That's some time to think.
Man, I'm talking about for something that didn't even equal up to... I don't know, but, I want to, I ended up going from jail to prison. And basically, one day, this is the thing that goes on in prison. I didn't have any muscle back then. I was just big. So a lot of people choose you as a target, and the guy had me pinned out wrong, and it didn't turn out well. So I ended up having to go to segregation. And
you were defending yourself, which means you had to...
He thought he had one. Because a lot of the people get caught whooping on the big dude. I had muscle at that time. I was just big, but he had me pinned out wrong. So, I ended up in segregation for 6 months because of this. So this is all of it leading up to this point right here. They got a tin mirror in there. It's a tin mirror. They don't give you real mirrors. You gotta look in the tin mirror. So I'm looking in this tin mirror. I'm locked up. And what happened was I started looking at myself. And I was like, man, who am I? And that question still echoes in my head because the answer that followed it was what changed my life.
Really?
I'm a thug. That's it.
That was the answer that came back to you.
Myself, I'm a thug. No extra anything to go with it. And I'm like, is that it? Because obviously being a thug got me
in the situation
that I'm in right now. So I told myself there's more to me than that. So they let me out of SEG after 6 months. Mind you, I fasted for 90 days, 3 days a week. I lost 25 pounds. I couldn't do 10 push-ups when I got, because I needed a change. Wow. Whatever mindset I had that led me to that point had to go.
How old were you when all this was taking place, roughly?
I lost the rest of my 20s because of it. I was 25.
So you basically became a man while being incarcerated.
It changed, but you gotta take it upon yourself to look yourself in that tin mirror in a situation like that and demand a change. You gotta demand that change from yourself because, as we can see, a lot of people go in, come out worse than what they were. Why? Because they didn't pull themselves by the coattail, say it ends here. This is where it stops. Because there's no way I should be in this situation and get myself into another situation. And so they ended up sending me, I got out of SEG. And I thought everything was okay. I said, that was so, it almost sparked a riot in there between me and the guy that I got into it with. It almost, while I was in SEG.
Really?
They ended up sending me to a maximum security prison.
Oh, now, was your crime, so your charge, you was in a lower prison.
I was in a level 2.
Level 2, but because of the severity of let me rephrase it, because of what happened, it could have impacted a major riot. They elevated you to a higher security?
They put me in a maximum security. So I was talking to my guy. He was like, they was like, pack up, you're moving. And he was like, oh man, they about to send you to a level 1. Oh man, you good. I said, well, I guess I am. I packed up. And we ended up pulling up to the master security, and the gate started, and I said, hey, I think there's a mistake. You forgot to drop me off at a level 1. He said, everybody's going behind here. Stand. That was another wake-up call. So I'm getting wake-up call after wake-up call. Mind you, my prayer life is deep right about at this moment in this situation that I'm in. So what happened was I found out you can get to a level 1 from a master security. So what I did was I blended in but didn't participate.
Okay.
I was truthful. Hey, I got a lot of people at a master security, their case led them straight to the master. They didn't come from a level 2, there. So they know that 9 times out of 10, if you come in there, either you caught a case that's got you in there or you messed up while you was in a level 2 and they sent you here. So I told them the truth. I'm from a level 2. They sent me here because of a fight. Everybody from Indianapolis, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know. That's why I don't think about people right now, because everybody I thought about before this happened was there.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I kind of block that out of my mind when I think about such stuff. I don't even want to know. Because everybody that I really thought about, I met up again with, what I'm saying, there.
Right.
I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. And I just attributed it. It's like, what's such and such? I don't know, and I don't care. Because that was an eye-opener, like, again, and so they all rallied up with me, and it wasn't any gang-related anything. It was just that I'm from Indianapolis, and they sent me far out, and a lot of other people were. I'm from the 80s, and everybody, I'm of age, so everybody that I was really thinking about was there. They all showed me love, and basically I made it from there to a level
1. When you looked in the mirror and asked yourself those questions, what was the order of operations that you put upon yourself to get to this level? What was those orders that you went through? What was the blueprint that you had to create for yourself to start this journey?
I'm going to tell you right now, I ordered a Bible. So you got to send it to the chaplain, send a request. I started at Genesis, 3 chapters a day. That led me to fasting for 3 days a week for 90 days. And that led me to, it's like crucifying your flesh. Like anything that I thought I was, I had to unlearn it. And the only way I unlearned it was through me reading, the Word. That's the only book I had. And that's the only book I wanted. I didn't want to hear nothing else. I just wanted to know what's up with my soul. Where am I at? Where do I stand? These decisions that I'm making, thinking I was going to follow suit with something that worked so well for somebody else. You know what I mean? It didn't work as well as I thought it would for me. And so it started making me change on the inside, because I needed spiritual guidance. And you can get guidance as like, you'll be some one that I look up to, I call. But when it comes to the spiritual matters, I need to get in tune with the one that created me.
Right.
Show me who I am. Show me my possibility. And those are the prayers that I started asking that you were talking about. That
You started manifesting while you was already there.
Yeah, I started manifesting them. But this isn't the worst part. The worst part is I made it to a level 1. I made it from a level 1 to work release. And ended up with an escape charge.
Okay.
I'm talking dreads long.
How in the hell do you get from 1, 2, 3 max, then down to level 1 to work release to catch an escape charge? Because it don't seem like that was even in your blueprint. But things happen unforsaken for a reason.
It wasn't. And work release, it is a setup. I really am against it. Let somebody finish their time so they can get out, because they see, like, I got smart when I was in there. I was out for 12 hours a day. I was going to school and had a job. I really wasn't in there.
While you was at work release?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you was being constructive with your time.
Yeah, and so I don't know if it struck somebody's nerve or whatever, but it ended up, odds is on me. Why is he getting out all the time? And I don't know why those questions are asked in another person's mind. I just know that I was going to school and I was working. I felt like I didn't deserve it. I had to walk from work. Listen, I ain't caught the bus in so long even before that I forgot that the bus didn't run at a certain hour, so they let me off work early. I'm sitting on the bus stop, and I see a bus come and say out of service. So I'm like, cool, okay, all right. The next one is gonna come. It's Washington Post, and so look, I ended up walking back to work release because it dawned on me, ain't no bus coming. So I was like 4.5 hour walk. I put it back, and they considered that some type of time. I forgot what they called it, but they basically said unaccountable hours.
Where were you at?
Yeah, where were you at? I didn't have a cell phone at that time, so they threatened to send me back, and then that happened. I told them, all right, they let me off work early. They promised me you're not gonna work another Sunday. Things of that nature. Second time, I had a cell phone. Second time was my fault. When they let me off early, I just struck off walking. I could have called and let them know, but I didn't, so it was on me. So I went out to work, basically did return because I knew that was the second time. They told me if it happened one more time. But it really wasn't my fault. They let me off work early, and I just didn't want to go back. And so this is where I messed up at, because if I would have turned myself in, they would have put me right back in work release. But I didn't. I decided to stay out. It's been so long since I've been out. This is my mistake. I'm admitting to whatever I went through. And so they ended up catching up with me 2 months later. That's when they told me, if you would have just came back and just told us what happened, that type of situation, we would have shown leniency to. I didn't know. I'm just thinking.
So you was a fugitive?
For 2 months.
How did that make you feel being a fugitive, knowing that, any time you could have been listed to be shot, danger, all this stuff?
Everything was there.
What happened that you got caught? Where were you at? What were you doing?
Riding with my uncle.
He gets pulled over.
He gets pulled over.
And they asked for your identification.
My identification. And it didn't work out well. They ended up taking me away in the ambulance. I don't want to go through the whole situation, but they tased me. They got me real good out here. So this is what happened. Back in the county, looking at the 10 mirror again. Enough is enough. I said, I'm writing a book. Not about my life. It's just that when I was in the first time, I read books. There's one called G-Spot. My cousin tried to hand me a book called G-Spot. Now, I'm like, man, hold on, bro. What is this? The title threw me off.
Yeah.
So I was like, what up, cuz? It's like, nah, read this. I read the synopsis. I didn't know what the synopsis was. Like, nah, read this. I read it. It's about a guy named G on the nightclub. Okay, so the title threw me off. But I read it. It took me away. It's another one called Dollar. Guy, and it's another one called Thug. Something like that. Listen, these books got me away from there until the end of the book. And I was inspired at that moment from reading these other authors. Like, hold on, wait a minute. I need to, I want to do this. And I remember thinking that, and then having to be back in the county. I said, I'm about to write a book. So I ordered a pad and a pencil and a pen. And I started writing my first book, which is Keys to the Streets.
How did you know what to write? How did you know before you answer that question, you get sent back, you had a 10-5 bid. How much time was left on your work release?
They ended up, I think they gave me 3 more years.
So you had 3 more years that you were sentenced to for being a fugitive. So you spent 3 years writing your first book.
No, I did that in the county.
You did it in the county?
Before I even went to my first court date. I had an attorney that I send it through mail this out for me. I had to pay an attorney on this because I was trying to fight it. I ended up coming up with enough money to get an attorney. I figured an attorney would help me to get back out here quickly, but that's not what God had planned for me. Because although I had a plan, that situation kind of made me relapse. So I'm in another situation where it's like I'm not going back, and that was wrong. And a lot of people go through this, and the reason why I'm speaking on it because there's people going through it right now. But going back is the best answer because you mentioned the threat of being shot. when you get pulled over. The threat of when they find out who you are. I don't have any serious violent offenses. I have drug offenses. So I'm not known for carrying a gun, but those that are, you know, that's a threat on your life when you choose to make these decisions. I learn from it. I'm like, nah, there's something more to me than this, because this is not about to be a repeated cycle. And my mama didn't raise me like this.
So you get sentenced to 3 years, 3 more additional years. Now what's your blueprint?
That's right. That's right. That's right. He about to be a writer. See, you didn't know who you was. I'm about to make you a writer. And I started writing my first book in the county. And so somebody walked up on me one day. They're like, man, what you doing? I'm writing a book on the pen and pad. And he was like, put me in it. What's your name? Where you from? He told me his name, where you from. I'm like, well, I made my character up. And I gave it to him, something like script writing right now. So it all started at that one part. I was script writing and everything when I first started. So I gave it to him, he'd read it, I was like, yeah, put me in there. So, you know, somebody's like, that's me. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, that's how it started. So, and then from that point, a few other people walked up. I even walked up on some Spanish people that was from Manzanillo. And I asked him, how do I get from Indianapolis to Manzanillo? He walked off for about a week. He came back with the blueprint.
Really?
I told him I'm writing a book. So I love it. You know, it's all urban fiction. It's all fiction. It's all like, we call it hood story. It's all fiction.
So it's almost like a crossover between like Iceberg Slim type books.
You get that? Yeah, I read that too though. Yeah, okay. so all the books that I read really have an influence on what I'm writing right now.
You mentioned Keys to the Streets.
Uh-huh.
Out of all the books that you have written, which one is mostly you?
None of them. I don't have me in any of those books. It's all fiction. Because what I read first, I was introduced to it by other authors, and you develop characters. You don't put anything in it that you're creating.
Which is your favorite character out of all these books, and why?
Out of all the books, I'm gonna say.
Which is your favorite, and which is your least, and why?
I'm gonna say I don't have any least, but I'm gonna say Brioff Mastermind and the Downfall of a Savage. And the reason why I say that is because it's a female lead character. Now, you got to understand, in order to create, you got to create. You can't have any boundaries because you never know what reader likes what. You got to test the waters. And I got the most reviews out of Mastermind and the Downfall of a Savage than I did with the lead characters of Keys to the Street or Return of the Kingpin, because those are all lead male characters. So that taught me something. Like, you struck gold right here. You need a lead female character. So that's what got me researching. I hear women conversation. I hear what they're talking about. And I said, oh, I got to add that in the book because this is how they say it. You know, so and then I got 9 sisters as well.
Oh, so you got a lot of information.
Yeah, so, you know, so learning their ways, learning how they talk and what they say, I'm very keen on listening.
What were some of the things that women were talking about that you put in there that somebody like myself and other men wouldn't even understand, but you put it in the right format?
Well, actually, what they go through, you know, they go through a cycle, they go through baby daddy drama, they go through this, but the thing that sticks out to me is their keywords.
Give me a couple keywords.
Like when they say girl, you know, I don't know, it sounds different when they say it, but when I hear it, I catch it, I'm like, oh, that's what they saying now. You know, it's like they expand it.
Right.
It's like they
do amplify girl.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's like whatever excites them. So I said, oh, this is what they own. So I write it, you know, but it said, you know, it's like step outside of your character. Step outside of what you like to write to see your results. And that's what helped me. Like, oh, if I'm going to be a writer, I got to write. Can't be no, you know, restrictions. Oh, I'm a man. So if you man, you can only write about, you know, men, where's the woman going to come into play at? You know, so you got to basically step outside, but you got to be comfortable with yourself, though. You got to, you know, I know who I am. I just like to create. You know, and I'm thinking about when the creation was made at the beginning, you know, he said, let's make man and woman in our own image. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I'll come from here. So it's easy to create for me. Because I started at Genesis, like I said. I started from the beginning. I started in the beginning. There was nothing. And, you know, that's my thing right there. Whenever I see a fall in my life, I can always go back to Genesis where there was nothing.
Or should we say, what an opportunity.
Yeah.
What an opportunity.
Yeah.
Now you've taken this to a whole different level. You're now decided to do motion pictures and films.
Yeah. That was the mission from the whole start. I'm going to turn every book into a movie. I only started with 2. That was the mission from the very beginning.
What's the first movie, and what was the reason for now taking it from autobiography into the big screen?
Was urban fiction, autobiography. I haven't wrote one of them yet. I'm on my way.
You're on your way to.
I will, but once I'm done with this genre, once I get this out of my system, the ideas keep coming. I'm going to the autobiography. Then you'll see the true who I am. This is all just made up characters that, you know, just fit, you know, a certain type of story I wanted to tell.
Okay.
So basically, this Keys to the Streets, this is the first book I wrote. This is when I started talking to people, asking them what do they do and things of that nature, and coming up with characters. I said, this seems like it's going to be my first movie. So I spoke it into existence. Basically, one of my guys reached out and said, somebody was doing a movie here, and I think it fell through. So they basically, I was called to the table, you know, and it was like, hey, we already got the team together and we want to make a movie. And it was like, so it was, I didn't know I was coming to everybody else at the table was about to pitch their ideas of who's going to shoot this next movie. I didn't know. When I came, I had my books ready. I had, you know, the blueprint ready of how we can do this and finish it. So everybody was hearing me talking. I'm so adamant about it because I knew the story so well. I'm telling them how it started, how it ended. We're doing it. And I'm talking about, you wouldn't believe how this magical moment kicked off. I'm talking about every time I called to be in a location, every time I called somebody to play a character, every time I asked somebody, can you do makeup, you know, they were there. I didn't see it happening like that for everybody that's trying to do this. But I already had my mindset, this is what I wanted to do. I already envisioned it before it even happened. So to complete it from beginning to end, like I said, right now it's in the editing stage. It's called Keys to the Streets. But the book series is called We Got the Keys to the Streets, a That Town Love Story.
Man, that is talking about some manifestation. When is the movie actually supposed to roughly make its debut?
Roughly, I'm trying to get it. I want it to be the fall. Being that, like I said, this is a grassroots movie. This is an out-of-the-pocket expense. It's not a major production.
Hold that thought for a minute, because people need to understand this. And I get that. I hear that so much from individuals that want to chase their dream or even manifest it. But the bottom line is you still need to understand you got to go into that grassroots, which you're taking your own money to put into yourself. Nobody's going to believe in that more so than yourself. What's your take on that when you hear people say, I want to do it, but they won't put their own financial backing behind themselves?
If you don't have the gift, you got to have the gift first. I can see you not wanting to put money in something you don't believe in yourself.
Right.
You know, I can see that happening, but if you believe in it, you're going to have to take that chance. It's like walking out on faith. It might be my last, but I'm putting it towards something I believe is going to bring more. You know, so that faith that you have in your last or whatever it is coming out of your pocket for whatever the amount is, it's going to take you to where you want to be. You got to trust and believe in it. This is if you got doubts, don't do it.
Yeah.
If you doubt this is what's going to get you to the next level, leave it alone. You know, but if you got you see it in your mind, you done saw this thing through. That's a gift. Invest in your gift. It'll come back. Oh yeah, it'll come back.
So you're talking about the movie should make its debut. You wanted to make it this fall?
I want it to be fall, but if it takes longer, it's going to take longer. This isn't Hollywood yet.
You're getting ready to make it Hollywood, Indiana Hollywood.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. I got so many things. I'm drawing from an endless well with my talent and my gift.
Before we wrap up, let's talk a little bit about the Queen. We're playing chess. We already know you're the king.
Okay.
Tell me about the queen, because she's going to appear on the show pretty soon too. So tell me how you guys met briefly and what she brings to the table, because I know you got to have that queen beside you when you got this.
You got to. And I want to let everybody know 2024 is a different year. It's the year of the queen. Speaking of which, it is. It's her year. Every king gonna have their queen back because we have nothing to fear. And then it's gonna strengthen. It's gonna strengthen the whole situation. Because if you was leading as a king before this year happened, you ain't got nothing to fear what's about to change up. You ain't got nothing to fear. You in there.
Really?
Because they recognize you wasn't trying to hold them down. You wasn't trying to be chauvinistic. You wasn't trying to be a narcissist. You was just holding them down. Oh yeah, they got you. Because this is their year, and it was bound to change.
What did you learn from her? What did she bring to your table?
Oh, so what I learned from her is that she puts a passion behind everything that she does. I met her during the making of this movie. Okay. You know, at the beginning, before we even said action for the first scene, I met her. And I was actually, communicating with her. She actually influenced me to get my first LLC for my books. She actually influenced me on a lot of situations financially. That's going to help me strengthen what I'm building for longevity and have a residual effect. So seeing her and talking to her about what she does and how she does it, I actually got to see her do it. Not only that, she contributes to my dream. So that shows that there is no fear of me succeeding. So in return, I started seeing her, and we started communicating a lot more because she's interested in seeing me succeed.
Isn't it amazing how those magnetics come together? Yeah. They say it's manifesting pure energy.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was a connection, and it was seeing each other succeed. And she's been on her path for a long time now. Everything that she's doing, she has it, and it's still a struggle. I see it right now to this very day. When there's something new comes up, it's like starting all over again, but it's so far from starting over again. You're on a new level. Every time you get to a new part of life and it seems rough, you just made it to another level.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people never look at it like that. They say, well, I got to struggle. Well, okay, look at where you was at and look where you're going. Anytime there's something new, there's going to be new encounters that we have to deal with.
Yeah, and so basically through that, she started showing me a love that I really never, I've wanted, and I've been ready for it, been waiting for it. My picker was broke before I met her. God really put her in my life. Because before I was choosing who I wanted to be with, for whatever reason I had, and it wasn't to build a home. It was just other reasons, just a young male coming up. I had my ideal of what I thought,
was that perfect woman.
But I was wrong. And I learned that when you find somebody with the heart like that, it's gonna be like 20 years. If you mess it up, you're not gonna find it for. He's gonna make sure. And when you see it again, you better hold on to it, because he's gonna give you a bad run of woman. So, you'll pick her brother.
So before we wrap up, what keeps you in that beast mindset? I mean, you're doing so much. You've overcome so many obstacles, but I can tell the obstacles that you went through it with a smile and determination on your face. I never once heard you blame somebody for your downfalls. I heard you take full accountability. What keeps you in that beast mindset?
I'm going to tell you right now, it's the power of prayer. But you got to bring real prayer. You got to come for inside changes. You got to basically write down what you don't like about yourself. Write that down. Get your faults together first. That way, when you move forward, I know I placed everything that I can detect on the inside of me in this hand. I know for sure I wrote it down. 1, 2, and pray against them for like 90 days. I did that for 90 days. I fasted for 3 days. I wrote down a whole list of people I didn't like. I prayed for them for 90 days, and things I didn't like about myself every night for 90 days. Probably every day, like not even just night. So every time I look at this list, anybody I felt I didn't like in that situation, And like you said, I was blaming everybody. First, when I started writing things down, I started praying for everybody I felt like I blamed. Because when it dawned on me, everybody you think about is free. You know, the only one is to what's wrong with you? And that's a major catalyst. Okay, so what's wrong with me? That was God talking to my heart, letting me know it's time. I heard you when you asked a long time ago. But seeing that, you know, I need to wake you up like this, you know, when he whoop you good, he gets you good. He got that type of whooping when he get, you know, spiritually, you know, I ain't gonna do it again and you keep doing it. Yeah, but what I did was I was real about it. There wasn't nothing fictitious about it. There wasn't no hold up. I'm serious. I need to change because I'm not about to repeat this pattern ever again. I lost the rest of my 20s. If I could have started this in my 20s, I pray that I would have been responsible enough.
It wasn't your time. The 20s was a lesson to get to where you're at today. How can the viewers reach out to you to be a part of all the wonderful things that you are creating with opportunities in the film industry? Hell, you can even show somebody your path on how to write these great books. How can they get all this stuff?
All right, you can reach me on Facebook. It's Courtney M. Brownn, 2 N's at the end of Brownn. You can reach me on IG. It's Black Wall Street _1980. Follow my Amazon page. It's Arthur Courtney B. Arthur Courtney B. You'll see my face. You'll see I got the beard at the time with the Versace glasses, but you know you'll see me on there. Other than that, all my books are on Amazon. They're Audible. You know, so they'll read back to you. So I got a new book coming out. It's called She Said She Want a Thug. I just put the edits into. I just submitted the edits to my publisher this morning. So it's set to release any time now. So She Said She Want a Thug. Soraya and Malik. Remember that. This book right here, I feel like it's the hottest book I ever touched. And, you know, so yeah, like I said, follow me on Facebook. I don't know how, but my followers are going up right now. And on Amazon, I got an Arthur Central page. It's Arthur Courtney B. You can find me on there. It's TikTok, all that. So, yeah.
Make sure you guys follow, get these interesting books, go out and support the film when it comes out. Hopefully you'll come back when the film debuts and have you back on the show so we can get the people involved. We definitely going to have your wife come on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
And I saw it on before. So, make sure you, when I'm going to get him in the movie, y'all. He's got the look. We're gonna get him a script.
So, I like that.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on the show, man. Like I said, we're going to have you coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another exciting episode of the Andre The Beast Crayton Show.
Right.